Imagine you just woke up. You stay in bed a little bit longer, checking your emails that your smartphone has downloaded automatically for you. Maybe you have a quick look at your favorite social media platform. Maybe you see a post from your friends and you like it, or you see an interesting message and you retweet it so that your friends can see it too. You get up to have breakfast, and while having breakfast, you look at your favorite magazines or your favorite newspapers or websites on your tablet. You see that your favorite pop artist is having a live show in your town later on this year. You're interested in it, so you try to find out more information about it online. Quickly, you find the website, you fill in your card details, and you buy a ticket. Later on, at lunch, you take a picture of your meal, and you share it on your favorite social media platform. You take a picture, and you share the location so that all of your friends know where you've had that food. Later on in the day, when you get back, you do some exercise. You get your fitness tracker, you go for a run, and you track your run. Later on, before sleeping, you watch a video online and you find it interesting, so you decide to share it with your friends on social media. The information travels across the social network and cascades rapidly through the social groups. I am Federico Botta, and I'm a lecturer in data science in the Department of Computer Science at the University of Exeter. And my research uses tools from mathematics, physics, statistics, and computer science to try and better understand our behavior and our society. We live in a digital era. Data on our hobbies, our behavior, our interests, our social interactions, our political opinions are constantly being generated. Never before have we had so much information to build an accurate picture of our behavior and our lives. Smartphones, the internet, and social media platforms have drastically and radically changed our lives in the last 20 years. Data on our behavior that we can collect through social media platforms, the internet, and smartphones can be used for in a variety of ways. For instance, state-of-the-art procedures used by government stakeholders to collect information about our society, such as unemployment rates or gross domestic products, are often time-consuming and expensive to collect, and often rely on human judgment. My research has shown that we can complement these traditional approaches with measures derived from data that have been becoming increasingly available in the last 20 years. These data contains information about our online information-seeking behavior, so what we look for online, what we share online, what we use our mobile phones for, and even crowdsourced data through apps. These can be used by scientists to really study in detail complex social systems, in a way using them almost as social microscopes. Let me give you a couple of examples of my research. So whenever there is a large event, like a protest, a demonstration, or a political movement, lots of people are interested in knowing the size of the people attending, so the size of a crowd. So these people could be authorities and police forces that are interested in it for emergency reasons. So if there is a big emergency and you have to evacuate an area with thousands of people, police forces need to know how many people are there. These might also be of interest to news reporters who want to know how many people were present and supporting, for instance, a political movement or a protest or a demonstration. Now, traditionally, this is quite difficult to do. There are some methods. For instance, you can have a large, high-resolution image of the protest or the event where the crowd is, and you can imagine looking at a small section of the image, seeing how many people you can see in there, and then scale it up to the full area. Or you can imagine that, for instance, having cameras in the area might be able to count how many people are there. So both these approaches work and have been used in the past, but they have some limitations. So they can be slow. For instance, sitting down, looking at an image, counting how many people are there takes time. Or have other issues. For instance, using a camera might suffer from visual obstacles. They hide part of the crowd, and the camera wouldn't be able to catch it. However, all of the people in these crowds, or most of the people in this crowd nowadays, will be carrying with them a smartphone. They might have it to make a phone call, to meet up with someone else who's at the same event. They might have it to take a picture and share it on their social media profile so that everyone knows they're there. Or they might simply have it in their pocket because they carry it with them. My research has shown that we can use the sheer volume of data that we generate through mobile phones and social media platforms to quickly and accurately estimate the size of a crowd. Let's have a look at a different example. Imagine that you want to visit a new city or a new country, or simply you want to find something new to do at the weekend. What's the most likely way that you're going to do this? Well, let's pick a specific example. Imagine that we are in London and you want to visit a new museum that you haven't been at before. So what are the kind of things you might want to know? Well, first of all, what is in the museum? Is it an art museum? Is there a special art exhibition on? Where is the museum? So is there public transport? Is there a bus stop nearby? Or more simply, you might want to know the opening times so that you get to the museum once it's open. Now, if you're like me and many other people, you're going to look for this information on Google. In my research, I use the information that people look for on Google to try and understand what they might be doing in the real world. For instance, in the museum example, I have shown that our online interest for museums and galleries in the UK, as measured by the volume of searches for these museums and galleries on Google, can be used to estimate how many people visit those museums on a monthly basis. And this is a crucial piece of information for people that are interested in understanding how museums are performing, if they're performing well, or if they're performing badly. And more broadly, our online information seeking behavior can be used to really understand what people are interested in and what they might be about to do in the real world. We live in a digital era. We now have data collected from smartphones, collected from social media profiles, and they can be analyzed using complex computer algorithms that can analyze, for instance, the public messages that we share online. They can analyze what we look for on the internet, such as on Google, but they can also be used to process millions of images that we can use to try and then better understand not only what photographs we take, but also what we share and how that relates to how we feel. We have complex and sophisticated algorithms that allow computers to analyze these images. And this is something that we wouldn't have been able to do only 20 years ago. This data contains information on our behavior, as I said, but also on how information spreads online, how misinformation and fake news spread online between different groups of people. But also, crucially, it also contains information about our cities, how we move around in our cities. This has been something which has been particularly important in the current COVID-19 pandemic. But we can also use this to better understand traffic. We can use this to better understand pollution. But also, something that we haven't been able to do before, we can use this to better understand how people perceive the environment in which they live. We can analyze what we share on social media in terms of text, in terms of images, and understand how we report feeling in different urban environments. And this can be crucial for planners and policymakers that are interested in designing better cities that make us happier. Here in the Department of Computer Science, but also more broadly at the University of Exeter, we tap into the information generated from all of this technology that I've been talking about to really try and understand our behavior, better understand our cities around us, and ultimately better understand our society. Thank you for listening.